Hey everybody out there in YouTube land, this is Jake Jabarelli of Jabarelli.com. Just a bunch of referral links. So I may have mentioned CryptoTab in previous videos, and I wanted to show you guys some feature and whether or not it's worthwhile. It takes a little bit of testing to really get a feel for whether it's right for you. And it took me a while to figure it out too, because I immediately signed up with CryptoTab, got all this new stuff, put everything together, and then I had to wait a couple days to really figure out, well, is it practical? I will say that it really depends on what your computer can do and how much you're using it. If you're not using it at all, you'll be able to get a pretty clear picture really quickly. But if you're using it all the time, which most of us are, and don't just have a spare computer just sitting around that's powerful enough to hash all this stuff out, you won't really get a clear picture right away as to whether or not this will be practical. So, one of my computers, not this one, yes, I have more than one, it shows pretty close to like 15, maybe 20 cents per day, running consistently 24 hours a day, just non-stop, doing nothing except working on CryptoTab. I literally don't use it for anything else. Every now and then I'll check in to see what's going on it, and it's cranking out 15 cents per day, 15 cents per day. So if I never did any boost like this at all, I'd come out with about $5 a month. Now, CryptoTab offers this cloud boost thing to multiply the speed of one or more systems by a set amount, but they do charge you for it. So, and it's until you have spare crypto laying around, they're going to take your money. So the question is, how long do you mine to get enough to pay for it? Well, for the most part, if your system can crank out enough coin every day, it'll automatically pay for it. Now, it won't just, they'll just take a portion. That won't happen. They need some way of getting that money from you. But if you've built up enough, then you can start adding on. So the first level, let me just go into this. I have a chart here to show you. Let's see if we can zoom in here. I'm doing this based on, let's do an amount of money that my machine's doing. And I have the number of days out here that I'll be working on it in a month, and the cost of each of the plans, and then how much that plan doubles, quadruples, hextuples, anyways, how much it multiplies the amount of processing power you're going to get. So if you do nothing, it costs nothing. And then for me, after a month of my one machine doing it 15 cents a day, it come out, like I said, $4.50. But if I go up higher, and you can see here I've not put in green the ones that are impractical. So if you're only going to do this for 10 days, you should never go higher than the 4x plan. No pun intended. It's not 4x like the cryptocurrency thing. Or the trading house. No, sorry, my mistake. But you could do 15 days and easily make enough to support the 22 for just one device. Now you could do 3 devices or 5 devices, but I'm only going to do this for one because the way that they explain it for higher amounts, like you can get a discount if you have 3 devices, and that discount changes depending on how many devices you have. So if you have 5 devices, maybe they'll give you a different. It's so difficult to understand exactly what it is that I've stopped thinking about it. If I had 20 devices, maybe I'd consider going higher, but there's too many machines to have to worry about. The thing you need to find out is, does your machine make enough in one day consistently to warrant paying $22 a month, or whatever you end up going for in one of these plans? So this machine, like I said, this is what it is. Now if you had, I wanted to show you with this chart because let's say you had a machine that did very, very little. Well, if you're kind of getting 3 cents in crypto per day, you should definitely not at all pick any of these plans. I think the bare minimum was 0.04, I think. No, alright, to make one plan. You could do the 2x plan, and after 30 days you'd make just barely enough to cover the cost. but I think it's at 0.07, no, 0.17. See if 7 was high. Nope, a little bit higher, 0.08. Yeah, there we go. So to make a profit, the one machine you're using, whether it's consistent or inconsistent, needs to make at least 8 cents per day. And that's based on the current price of crypto, which is like 9,600. It could change. And they know this. The reason they want you to pay is because it's a consistent. They're always getting the same amount of money from you. But if you're doing something more like what my other machine's doing, then almost any of these plans makes it practical. Obviously, if I did it for less than 15 days, it would not be practical. It would cost me money. But most people are expecting to do this ongoing, right? So this is how much I'd make. This is the profit I would make if I did the $22 plan with my one machine that does 15 cents a day. After every single month, I'd be making $23. So, and that's, like I said, based on current crypto prices. If Bitcoin goes up, it could be more. If it goes down, it could be less. But I have a wide berth, a wide, space differential between whether I make money or not. Like if it was, let's say it was 0.1, and then there's more likelihood that if the price goes down, I'm going to go into the negative. So I'm just trying to give you guys a justification. You want to make more money, you're going to pay some money. Now, if you don't have any money to do this with, then I should just stay on the zero. Just don't do it until you're ready to do it. I wouldn't encourage anybody to spend negatively. There's no reason to do that, in my opinion. I have the money. I'm going to try the 22 on just this one machine, because I know I can do it. And if it becomes more profitable, I'll go to more. But like I say, I think the thing I wanted to make a good point on this is, right now, I don't know if this is based on the price or based on the efficiency of the computer. Now, you can see that the computer I'm running on right now, I'm actually recording on this computer, and so my numbers drop. Normally, this computer is handling about 2,000 hash per second. The other computer I runs at about 3,900 to 4,200, and it cranks out, like I said, 15 cents per day. And that, I was trying to find a correlative concept of, if you do 4,000 hash per second for 24 hours and it makes 15 cents, what would a machine that does less than that do? Well, it's hard to do on this machine because I use it for so many things that this number fluctuates a lot, so I don't really know. I know that this machine makes about 10 cents a day, and I know if I leave it alone, it does about 2,200 hash per second. So the correlation, I can almost say guaranteed, is if the machine is whatever the machine is doing, whatever this number, this hash number is on a consistent basis, take 20, divide by 20, and you'll get your actual output per day. It's pretty close. I know I don't have a chart for that, but let's just take this as an example. This machine here. I'm going to average 1,200 a day. Wait, no, it's 2,000. My normal is 2,000. 2,000 divided by 20. Actually, no, I guess it would be 200, wouldn't it? 2,000 divided by 200. All right, 10 cents. I guess if I were to make it properly 10 cents. I was just trying to get a number that made more sense. No pun intended. So 2,000 hash per second for a full day will make you 10 cents in a day. 3,000 hash per second for a whole day will make you 15 cents in a day. So I guess it could, correlatively speaking, if you could do 10,000 divided by 200, you'd get $5 a day. So that's one way. Once you get this thing running, once you get CryptoTab running on your computer and you just let it do its thing, either let it run for 24 hours and come back and check how much you've made, or get a definitive about what this number is, divide by 200, and you give your change amount. I'll have a way of figuring that out on this chart up here, this CryptoTab boost value chart, so you guys can plug your own numbers in and figure it out. But I'm just trying to, make it more apparent to anybody who's looking at this going, well, what's that for? What's this feature up here? How do I know how much I'll get if I do this? Well, if you just jump in, maybe you'll get something. But if you don't know what you're starting with, it's going to be challenging. So hopefully by this email, or this video, this video will help you figure out if it's practical for you to start. Like I said, less than 8 cents per day, probably not a good idea. Really, the cutoff is about, if your machine's making more than 8 cents a day in Bitcoin, you can probably do the boost. Or, hey, maybe you wait a little while until you've built some up, and then do it. But the reason I'm even looking at this is because this machine, the compilation of all the machines, including all of my mining network, all 3 of these people here, has only brought me up to about $1 worth of Bitcoin. I'm looking to increase that. I don't want to make $1. I want to make $10, $20, $50. I want to make more. And what's the way to making more? Well, they offer one, this boost feature. So I would say if you're doing this from a phone, probably not going to get very far. I hate to say it, but most of the phones I've had this on, their hash per second is like 100. I have a OnePlus 7 Pro, and it barely does 150 hash per second. I think it just has to do with the kind of processor it is. Intel processors seem to work better. So the one that's doing the 4000, that's a Core i7. It seems to be doing really, really well. And it only works on CPUs, not on GPUs. So if you have a really great video card, don't even look at this. It's whatever. I mean, like if you have a AMD Threadripper with 64 cores, you'll be blowing this away. I think I saw somebody another person on YouTube doing like 20,000 hash per second. It was insane. But those things are like $4,000 processors, and the computers they're built into are like 12 grand. We're not looking at that kind of prices. If anything, you can invest in something else. This is just for people who want to do something on their computer in the meantime. So check this out. Like I said, watch this video again. If you're having trouble, you can check out my my spreadsheet here to help you figure it out. But like I said, the cutoff is 0.08 per day in cents as of right now. Anything more than that would probably be worthwhile. So, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. Thanks for watching the video. Like, subscribe. See you later.